exit planning strategies. The Dan Rossi Show.
I'm Dan Rossi with Rossi Business Transition Solutions. And today in our program, we're going to be talking about the 7-step exit planning process and how you, the business owner, can be prepared for this process where it will be more efficient, more effective, and in the long run, provide planning that will be extremely beneficial for both you, your family, your employees, and their families. So let's get started with today's program. The first step is identifying your objectives. Every business owner has objectives that want to accomplish both before they leave their business, in the process of leaving their business, and what they want to walk away with. That could be in terms of financial independence, using your business to leave a legacy for the community, for your employees. Most business owners want to be sure that the net walk-away value in your pocket are sufficient so that you can continue living in the lifestyle that you've grown accustomed to for you and your family. After all, you've spent a lifetime building your business. That same application, that same concentration that you've placed on building your business over all these years must be applied to a set of steps, to a process that you're going to find yourself not familiar with at all or very little, but by going through this process in a way that brings the proper advisors in, you're going to find that the time and the effort will be far worth it. You'll benefit from this process the rest of your life. So we start with the first step, identifying your exit objectives. Your goals may include reaching a target business value, protecting valuable business assets, developing an independent and a strong management team, motivating and retaining key employees can be super beneficial to you at this point of transition. So in this first step, and it's the most important step because it lays the foundation for the next 6 steps. And if this foundation is strong, your chances of your business exit plan building and coming to fruition are much better accomplished. This takes us to step 2, identifying your business and your personal financial resources. Now here, we determine that in addition to identifying which goals you want to achieve, it's equally important to determine when and what you have right now today, namely the current value of your business and its current and projected cash flow. You see, if we have a handle on these right up front, it's going to set a whole set of components into play to bring us to another level of making your business more sellable. And that is that you and your exit planner, your coach, your advisor, use current business values that are projected cash flow to determine which planning tools are best suited to move you closer to your objectives. And without an initial determination of what you have, it's impossible to measure the progress that's going to occur to connect them to your stated objectives. So, as we consider that statement, we also consider then, how is this process managed? This process will link together in a very determined way and in a very exact way the proper steps that have to be taken one by one. So many owners will put this process off for years because in their mind, they can't see how taking on another job, adding more time to their already overburdened daily schedule will ever work. However, if we approach this process just like you've approached so many other new ventures that you've taken on over the years in building your business, recruiting new employees, looking for specialized employees that have special knowledge, special skills and gifts, just as you've encountered so many obstacles that have been thrown into your path over the years in having to deal with those. Some call them putting out fires, others call them opportunities. Always depends on a person's thinking. Are they thinking in a positive format, in an organized way that will bring results that are applicable to what you're going to want to live with as this process is finalized? Or are they bringing negative results that won't work so well or not at all in your future plans? The answer is up to you, because we bring positive solutions to a positive environment, and we try to create that positive environment by focusing on, yes, that sun is rising. Right, that glass is half full. So in this, when an owner looks at their schedule and thinks about this task of bringing on something that they know very little or nothing about at all, business exit planning, it's a psychological approach of positive thinking that looking at the final outcome of this process, looking at the result you want, and that's why we always start out with step one being that all-important step. It's a foundational step to a successful exit planning process of achieving your goals. So we have to start, as Stephen Covey used to say so often in many of his books, we have to begin with the end in mind. His famous comment that we all remember if we've ever read any of his material. We must begin with the end in mind. So in step one, by setting your goals, clearly outlining in our process your objectives to be accomplished, now the sights are set. Now that positive, determined approach to a process that won't take forever. It's a relatively short period of time in comparison to the many years you've worked to build your company, your investment. So in this step two, as we talk about managing the process and the having a certified business exit planner on your team as your coach, as the person that's going to work for you, the owner, like that quarterback of an NFL football team. That quarterback is going to make or break that team, and he carries much of the weight on his shoulders every time he's out on the field. But even when he's on the sidelines, he's not resting on his laurels. He's observing the game, the strategy that the opponent is using, what the defense does and what the offense does. And he's always calculating everything going on, whether he's on the field or off the field. That's what a good certified exit planner will do for you. So step two is going to now transition into step three, which is to build and preserve the value of your business. And why do we say both build and preserve? And the answer is that based on the first two steps we've already talked about, protecting existing value from the actions of others follows right in line with building value, because we don't want to go into this process of building value but not plan for how we're going to preserve what you've already built. So these things are extremely important. Installing or updating financial reporting systems, aligning employee performance with the attainment of your profitability goals, or protecting proprietary information through covenants not to compete with key employees. And In this third step, we recognize very quickly and very early that key employees are such an important part of this process. And one of the things we always ask our business owners to do is to consider looking at your company and what you do in that company, not as a job, even though many over the years have grown accustomed to thinking that this is my job, to transferring or transitioning your thinking to the way a buyer thinks when they come in to look at your business, to evaluate it. They see it as an investment for them. And because they see it as an investment, they don't see all those things that you have personally done, all the intricacies of balancing things and establishing rules and guidelines and whatnot. What they see is an investment. They're looking for a rate of return on the 10 million or the 15 or 20 million that they're considering plucking down to invest in your business. They're not looking for a job. The buyer is not looking to come in and take over running your business the way you run it. The buyer is looking at investing money that they can invest anyplace else, in the stock market, in all types of different investments, to get the rate of return they want without the headaches of having to rebuild the business to get that rate of return. They want that rate of return right now, today, at the time they put down the money. So it helps you tremendously to think like that investor thinks, like an investor. That buyer is an investor, and that's what he's going to evaluate your business based on. So as we look at this third step, we begin to hint to the importance of developing a key employee management team. This team is going to help you to demonstrate to that buyer, to that investor, that you're being there. You're working every day. You're being the owner of that company is not the difference between synergy with your employees and their jobs and running the company, but with you, the business owner. So, what are we saying? Very simply, that if that tie is there between you and the employees, the better your relationship is with your employees, the better and the more protected the value of your business is, if they're not depending on you every day to do their jobs. If they are working independently of you and you are overseeing their production, their performance, their results, and you're happy with that, and they don't line up at your door every day to help you make their decisions, this is the kind of synergy you're looking for. You want your employees to be independent and not dependent on you. If you've already created this, you have a strong mixture back in step one in that foundation that we're going to build to put these other 6 steps on. If not, then we want to go to work as part of our building your exit plan to achieve that ultimate goal, having a key employee management team. This is going to take us to step 4. And here in step 4, selling your company to a third party is the possible choice you'll make ultimately. Now, you're not stuck with that choice. It may be much better off, and it might meet your goals much more directly if, in fact, you want to do an insider sale, either to family members, gifting your business, or to a key management team through maybe an ESOP or other types of programs that are available where the employees will own the company. But these are all decisions that in this step, what we're mainly talking about here is if you choose ultimately to sell to a third party, then we design the kind of strategies that will improve the likelihood of a successful sale, minimizing the taxes you'll ultimately pay, and maximize your sale price to the terms you set forth, not what the buyer sets forth. That one sentence is so important. It's so incredibly important that if these are not created to protect your interest, and you end up trying to redesign your company and rebuild it to the whims of a buyer coming in, you'll find you're heading down a dead-end path. So step 4, selling your company to a third party, is extremely important that we develop this step in the proper way where the buyer comes in and has no way to start making recommendations or commands that they want this and they want that and they want the other. They're going to see that you already have a fine-tuned machine, a company that's producing increased revenue each year, a company that is profitable, a company that is run efficiently, a company that has written operating statements, operations, and a company that has the kind of employee management team where independence is definitely in operation. Now, transferring your ownership to insiders is the 5th step in the business exit planning process. And here, insiders could be, as mentioned a few minutes ago, your family, children, adult children, co-owners, key employees, and many times, if not always, they lack the financial resources to pay you what your company is worth. Now, if you choose to transfer your company to insiders, then in this step 5, we create a detailed plan to ensure that you receive the money you desire from your business, minimizing the risk of non-payment, and ensure that you retain control of your business until you have been fully paid. So this is a process of both protecting existing value and continue increasing future value while you achieve your goal of an insider sale, and yet protecting your ownership of that company until you receive your full value, your walkaway value, net after tax, after expenses, that you are entitled to and need to reach. Many business owners at this moment realize, if they didn't back in step 1, that achieving a certain bottom line net walkaway dollars in your pocket is so very important to achieving your retirement goal of continuing to live the lifestyle that you and your family have grown accustomed to. So as step 4 is so very important, step 5 is similar in the fact that you're deciding who you're going to sell it to, and in this case, to an insider or group of insiders, and different strategies need to be taken, but they run in similarity to step 4 in selling it to a third party. Now, as we complete step 5, selling it to an insider, it carries us to step 6, which is business continuity. And many owners usually look over the fact that business continuity is to ensure that your goals, such as transferring the company to your successor of your choice and having your family receive full value of your ownership, are met whether you survive this process of exiting or not. Could you imagine that this process is continuing on and you're seeing it with such great success? You can't believe how this process is going, how you're achieving your goals and objectives in the building of your business exit plan. And then all of a sudden, the unexpected happens. You have an accident, you become ill, you're in a hospital, you're in ICU, never thought. And now everything, it seems to be coming down around you. So a business continuity plan built into your exit planning process is so very important because it assures you that should anything happen that takes you away from the business, whether it's an illness, a catastrophic event, we just can't predict what's coming down the pike tomorrow. So therefore, a business continuity plan, its purpose, again, is to ensure your goals are met, particularly the transfer of your company to the successor, where you're fully done, you've walked away. But before that's achieved, you have your business continuity plan in place as part of your exit plan to assure that that outcome will happen. And that takes us to the final step, step 7. And here in step 7, we're looking and deciding and evaluating your personal wealth and your estate planning. It does no good to create the best business exit plan in the country and achieve the value, the walk-away value you want, and have that successful transfer now implemented, now completed, and then end up filing tax returns and realizing that it's too late after the sale. You lose a lot of strategies in tax planning and in estate planning that could have been done during the planning process before the business was sold, but now it's too late. So here in the 7th step, we coordinate. As we're building your business exit plan, we're coordinating your estate plan, the design that emphasizes tax efficiency in the transfer of wealth or the transfer of your business to a family member. In either case, situations are going to be created that you're going to want to control before the process. While your goals and objectives are being developed, you're going to want to take into account, yes, estate planning and the process of your personal financial planning, gap analysis, knowing exactly what amount of money you need to add to your existing investments in order to see your dream come true, come to a reality, come to fruition. So this is an extremely important part, even though it's the 7th step. It again feeds back into a strong foundation back in step 1 for building an exit plan that's going to help you achieve your goals, win your employees over in the process of transition, that they're not threatened in believing that they're going to lose their jobs, their financial security, their personal property while your business is being sold. Your employees are and this is an understatement, an important facet of this whole planning process. How successful it is depends to a large degree on how well this process is communicated to your employees, and most importantly, to your key employee management team. So here we have discussed the 7 steps of the exit planning process in a very basic way, but in a way to give you an idea of how this process flows and how it works. And please remember that as we go back to some of the very important initial steps. One of them is that a business owner must look at this process as one, it has to happen, because without planning, the sale of your business will be a failure. And two, how do I change my psychological thinking? How do I change my approach to bringing on another task, another responsibility, and still manage what I have? We have the answer to those questions and so many more. Give us a call at Rossi Business Transition Solutions, 330-746-6572, and we'll talk in a free complimentary consultation to help you form a picture in your mind of how this process will work and not take anything away from what you're currently doing. In the meantime, have a great day